gotta hold it right here. All right, so we're taking a look at the Ryzen 3 2200G, and as you can see, it does play WoW. So we're going to look at the graphic settings, and when you look at the graphic settings, we've got it set to 1080p, we've got it set to 7, so got all the graphics set to high or good, even though it's recommended to set it low or fair. We've got high and good at 1080p with a 7 setting, and we're getting 70, 80 frames per second. Okay, now that's just sitting in here, but let's see what we can get when we actually are out doing some action. So let's see what it looks like when we're actually in battle, where we've got spell effects, multiple players, casting spells, fighting. Okay, so it looks like we're getting some pretty good frames per second. Damn. So out in the action, we're still looking at 70 to 80 frames per second. Well, I guess you get to enjoy some of this horrible gameplay while I'm trying to record and play the game. Alright, there you have it. You can see we actually dropped down to 50, 60 frames per second. 45 while we're dead. In the middle of the action, you can see there, we were dropping down into like the 60s. While I'm getting killed, you can see I'm at like 60, 70 frames per second, 78, 80 frames per second. You know, right there in the middle of action. All right, so there you have it. And I'll show you the graphics one more time. We got a graphics setting of 7 at 1080p. Everything is set to good or high. DirectX 12. You see we're using the AMD Radeon Vega 8 graphics, so you won't think that there's a graphics card in there, and we're trying to skew the results. There you have it. 60 frames per second. 80, 70. Even in the middle of action, you're still looking at 70 and 80 frames per second. There we go. We had what, 75, 60, drop down to 60.